One of my favourite topics, the ultimate method to playing your retro games in today's world. Enter the Analogue Mega SG. Hi, welcome back. Before we move on, I have a couple of points I need to make. This will be the first in many videos discussing ways to revisit retro games consoles. This is by no means the perfect solution, but it is up there as one of the best ways to do so. Hit that subscribe button and change the notifications if you don't want to miss any future retro gaming videos. Some choose to restore and modify original hardware to get a cleaner video output signal, and some choose to plug in a Raspberry Pi into their TV with a generic Bluetooth controller, and then there's this category that we are going to get into. The Mega SG, produced by Analogue, an FPGA solution for playing your favourite Sega Mega Drive games, that is Sega Genesis in the United States. FPGA stands for Field Programmable Gate Arrays. In short, these FPGA chips mimic the timings and instructions of original hardware, in this case a Sega Mega Drive, providing a level of accuracy not seen before by software emulation. This is why you have the official product page flexing about the lack of emulation and lag, giving you total accuracy and zero compromise. Analogue also make other retro gaming consoles based on FPGA chips. Don't get me wrong, we're talking about the last 5% of the experience here. There are software emulators that you can get, usually exclusively for desktop operating systems and hardware, which are built with accuracy in mind, and the average consumer are unlikely to notice the difference. Whether or not it is worth spending the $190 asking price for that last bit of the experience is going to depend heavily on your retro gaming desires, bearing in mind that price does not include shipping or import duties depending on where you live. I aim to try and help you with that decision, but also enlighten those who are big retro fans but have only been exposed to software emulation on their desktop computer or Android phones. Right, with the backstory out of the way, let's check out this beautiful bit of kit. I've gone for the Japanese colour code, so that's the red and blue button on the front. On the website you'll find that there's the UK and US versions, and you can also buy an all white version if you prefer that to go in your entertainment centre. Let's take a moment to go around this box. On the left hand side we have an SD slot. This is useful for upgrading the firmware, but also for loading ROMs if you are running the jailbroken firmware, because what you're supposed to do is insert your original Sega Mega Drive cartridges. It doesn't officially play off an SD card. However, there is a jailbroken firmware, so you can run ROMs directly off the SD card, but not important for the moment. We've got micro USB power, HDMI. We have the expansion slot, which allows this to be plugged into a Mega CD, the CD add-on for the Sega Mega Drive. So they really did try to mimic an original Sega. And then on the front, just to put a nod to the original Mega Drive, you still got the headphone jack on the front and two original Sega Mega Drive controller ports. So you can use your Mega Drive controllers with this. Analogue does not provide any controllers in the box. This is purchased separately from 8BitDo. They must have worked together on this because it's very popular for people to use this 2.4 GHz version of this Sega pad. 6-button layout, very nice. This is the dongle which plugs directly into an original Sega port. Yes, this does work on an original Sega as well, but more importantly, the setup here allows you to have true low latency wireless gaming with your Sega Mega Drive games. I've said it before and I'll say it again, 8BitDo make fantastic controllers. Can't recommend them enough. A quick shout out to my good friend Will Marshall, who has recently reviewed 8BitDo's flagship retro controller, the SN30 Pro Plus. Check out his video if you want to know more about this great pad. I shall leave a link in the description below. I will just quickly show you what comes in the box. So underneath the tray where the Mega SG sits, you've got an instruction booklet. This mat is used for the Mega SG to sit on when you are connecting the console to the Mega CD. It's just to protect it, and it's a very nice touch really. Also included is a Master System adapter, so you put your cartridges for the Master System in here and then that will slot. As you can see, I haven't made use of that yet. I don't have any Master System games. That is a non-UK plug, HDMI, and you do get a micro USB cable in there too. The Sega 32X, another add-on made by Sega for the Sega Mega Drive. It does work with this console, but it requires another bit of video hardware called a DAC connected to the video output of the Mega SG. I unfortunately don't have a 32X to hand or this extra bit of video equipment, but so we'll have to come back to that another time. Let's get this connected and place in Sonic the Hedgehog. I do really enjoy this boot animation logo and sound. The boot menu appears, and I'm going to kick off by going run cartridge. It does what it says on the tin. I'm still working on my HD game capture setup, and so you may see a few stutters. Apologies for that. It does not represent the performance of the Mega SG. Pressing the menu hotkey, which is totally configurable by the way, will bring up the console menu. Here you will find a ton of settings: scan lines, scalers, resolution, audio settings, general system settings, and so on. There is a lot here to fine tune game playback to your liking. Many of these settings will be familiar to those who use emulation. Let's check out some more gameplay. Don't forget to check the timestamps in the description to navigate around faster. The audio and visual experience on offer here is second to none. Analog used one of the original sound chips, the Yamaha YM2612, and I think that has to be my favourite aspect of this box. It sounds amazing, and with plenty of audio settings to tweak, you can fine tune the sound however you like. The crisp pixel output is spot on, bypassing any 240 or 480 line scaling that your modern day TV would highly likely make a mess of. I have no complaints here, controller inputs are snappy, and OG Sonic has never felt this good to hear, watch and play. As we saw earlier, the expansion port allows connection to a Mega CD, the CD add-on for the Sega Mega Drive. This is where I feel Analogue fall a little short as a company selling these products. While I have only seen one game that fails to load, it is an important one. We're talking about Sonic CD here. It crashes before the first level begins while the music continues playing. Now it works if I downgrade the firmware, so I wouldn't consider it a deal breaker. But it's not acceptable given the words on their product page. I hope they can fix this in the latest firmware update, but I really wouldn't hold your breath. Soon I will be restoring my original Sega Mega Drive, adding an audio amp allowing 60Hz playback, line doubling the beautiful RGB output, and then I will return with a hardware based head-to-head. Before I wrap up, I want to mention that Analogue effectively package up this FPGA solution for you in a plug and play manner. You give it power, HDMI, put in your cartridge controller and off you go. You can, however, buy your own programmable chip known as the DE10 Nano and load it with community developed cores. This community run project is known as FPGA Mister. The cores can allow you to run a bunch of retro hardware on a single FPGA chip, meaning you get a ton more for your dollar, except there is a far bigger undertaking involved with getting it up and running. The internet is very divided on Analogue's specific consoles versus an all-in-one FPGA solution that you can build yourself. I will be revisiting this topic again soon as there is more yet to explore with FPGA retro gaming. Should you buy a Mega SG then? If you have kept a handful of cartridges around, occasionally drop a 16-bit chiptune and prefer the just work out of the box experience, then great, you'll enjoy what Analogue have done here to bring new life to your old carts. As briefly mentioned earlier, you can install the jailbroken version of the official firmware, which allows games to run directly from the SD card. This is the easiest way to play ROM hacks and mods. It's pretty handy. But that is all for now. In the meantime, please be considerate to others, wear your face masks. This is the Techno-G signing out. Take care. I can't believe it, as a kid we played Sonic wrong all that time. 50 frames per second, no thanks to the PAL video system. Do you know how soul destroying that is? He wasn't as fast all those years.